Bonjour! Bonjour!
No.
Time for bladder check. Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch My Hero Academia season 2, episode 4. Today I watched already the 3 first episodes of this season 2. I'm gonna put some links into the I'm gonna put the link also for the playlist that I made for My Hero Academia if you want to see my reaction videos to the entire season 1 also, and I'm gonna put other links for other animes that I'm reacting to, like for the last ones it was Demon Slayer, it was the last part of Attack on Titan, but I binge watched all of Attack on Titan with you guys, Chainsaw Man and Death Note. Just in case you can be interested by it. Right there, episode 4 of My Hero Academia. Like really, I began this season 2 being like, okay, 4 episodes, that's it, that's gonna be good enough to introduce this new season, the new main narrative arc, maybe the new big enemy, like to know more about stuff. And really, I was surprised by the rhythm of this episode because we went into the story, into that sports festival already, you know, at the episode 2, so that's it. End of the episode 3, we finished already the first step, and Deku won. That was so great, and he did it so good, you know, and that way I was so proud of him, and at the same time I was so mad at him because he was amazing, he was clever, he was brave, he took risk, he anticipated stuff, and yes, he did so great, but for him it was not fair, like he didn't use his power, it was just luck, stuff like that, and it made me mad because I'm feeling so proud of him and I want him to feel proud of himself. And I know that he was glad, you know, to enter into this school because he trained a lot, and so he thinks at the end that he deserves it to enter into it. But at the same time, each time that he succeeded, you know, with the first exam, for example, or with some class lessons, each time he had this impression to not be enough, to... yes, just to not be enough, like during the attack at the end of the season 1. For me, the students, they were amazing, they helped so much, and they even saved, you know, each other and all. And for Izuku, that was not enough, and that was just luck, and he has to prove himself even more, and stuff like that. And yes, for sure, for now, he's not good enough to be the future All Might, stuff like that. For sure, for now, he's not good enough. But he did amazing stuff, and I have the impression that he's not proud of himself enough, or not at all. And I think that it's going also with his past, his background, and the fact that he was bullied during entire years, that during entire years everyone told him that he was not enough, that he didn't have any power, that he was useless, that, you know, no one considered him and all. And I think that he still has that inside of his mind, he's still functioning like that kid. He changed, you know, he grew up, he evolved, he trained hard, he worked hard, and right there he won that first test, you know, without using his quirks. So it means that even the Deku without this power could have won also. And he thought about taking that thing, you know, that maybe it could be resourceful. He anticipated that, he took it with him, he knew how to use it, he took the risk, you know, of taking time, you know, to use it well. Even at the end, it was not enough. He thought really quickly, using another way, you know, to really lead this run, and he succeeded. He won, and it was fair, it was clever, it was risky, it was brave. Oh, I'm so proud of this kid, but see, I'm mad that he's not proud of himself. When clearly Katsuki is too proud of himself, too arrogant, and he's not hiding it, and I'm almost feeling sad for him because he's a good guy, you know, like he's a good fighter, he's a good potential hero, but because of his attitude and all, people are not gonna love him, not only the other students, you know, and the other heroes, but also people out there and all, they're not gonna appreciate him. Todoroki, it's something different. I don't think that he's arrogant. He just knows that he's really good and he wants to be really good. I think that it's to impress his father. We discovered during the last episode that it's Andover, his father. I knew that it was another superhero with how he talked about him. I think that he doesn't appreciate his dad, but at the same time he wants for his dad to be impressed, you know, like to be proud of him. We learned during the last episode that Todoroki and Momo entered into this school without passing the exam. I think that we have 2 other students like that, but I don't know which ones, and I'm not so sure of it. It's what I remember for now, you know, without checking again the information, for what I remember of that one sentence that they said during the season 1 at some point. But yes, I don't think that Todoroki, at the end of this first test, he was mad at Deku. I think that he's more the kind of guy who can be mad at himself, like, I need to be better. When Katsuki, he was mad at Deku, he took that personally, like, you know, he was mad at Deku when Deku entered into this school, and he took that personally, like, you did it, you know, you hid it from me, it was against me. Really, the guy thinks that everything is about him, and right there, for Deku to win that thing, I think that he took it personally, like, that's it, you wanted to humiliate me in front of everyone. Not everything is about you. And right there, it's really about Deku, about the fact that All Might told him that it was a good way to present himself to the world, and that's what he did. And what I was afraid of happened, meaning that the villains who were there during the attack at the end of the season 1 recognized him, and now they know his name. We just miss, you know, like, for Deku to show his power, and a lot of persons are gonna click about the fact that it seems a lot like All Might's power. Ah, that's bad. I don't think that it's gonna happen during this episode, but soon. During this episode, it's gonna be the cavalry battle by team. They're all gonna be against Deku, a lot of them. I don't know how it's gonna happen. But with how they were rated, I don't know with who you're gonna fight. Maybe with the fake French guy who was not well rated at all. Maybe. That's gonna be my opportunity to learn his name. Sero, Fumikage, Sero and Fumikage, we learned during the last episode their names. You know my favorites. For sure, I love Deku, I'm really interested by Katsuki, I love Ochaco, but I love even Iida. Iida is so great. I appreciate so much his attitude, how he is, his principles and values, and because of that, the same reasons, his principles and values, I love a lot also Kirishima. These two, for different reasons, you know, for different values, but still, I appreciate them a lot. And for sure, Todoroki is interesting and his power is so great, and I think that his background also is gonna be cool. But yes, Kirishima and Iida, they have values, you know, which are talking to me. Okay, I'm gonna stop this intro right now. Let's go for this episode 4. Remember that if you want to have my Patreon, on which you can have these episodes earlier, 4 episodes of advance, which means 2 weeks of advance, which is a lot. Extended or 4 action part, I put a lot of 4 action part. Extended or action part are interesting no matter what, because I'm not forced to cut that much each 5 seconds to play with opacity and stuff. You have really the reaction, like I wanted you guys to see the scene, all of the scene, like I wanted it to share with you guys, and it's the best way to support me. My Patreon, it can be really helpful for me. So if you can, it can be appreciated, and that's why I'm working hard, you know, to give you this advantage. Like 2 weeks of advance, it's a lot of work, you know, for me. So I'm working hard for you guys to give you these advantages, so you can choose to join me on my Patreon and to help me also with that, you understand? If you can. Let's go for this episode 4! 10 million points! I'm gonna go after you! No! It's not because of luck! Oh, don't make me mad again! Come on! To be the best? That's a lot. One strategy would be to fight only at the end against the team who stole the most, you know, like, who was the best. Do you understand what I mean? To steal only once, but at the good time and the good team. Who?
騎馬戦がそうですね。まさに自分の勝利がチームメイトの勝利になっちゃうもん。
You have to unite and to use the powers of Emerald. For Deku, I think that it would be great to be with two. She has really a good quirk to work with, to jump and all. When Deku, it's more the strength. He did? I remember Kirishima, you're already one of my favorites. That's a great idea, yes. Eh, they don't want to be a target. No, I'm sorry, that was French. Ochaco, you're so nice! Always. Urine? Who? You're right. Not a rival, a good opponent. Yes, I understand. It's not because he wants to be against you. You're just a good opponent, like... You know, a good competition, it's when you have good opponents. Yes, it's a good choice. Mei Atsume? Yes, she was good. She's clever, she has some skills. Mei. Oh, cool! It's a jetpack? Don't be jealous. 2. No? Who?
ここにいるほとんど A 組ばかり注目してる。
Mm.
なんでだ
Tetsu, 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 Tetsu. No! He's tired, come on. He needs to rest. Ah! I don't have this name. Fumikage. Each time I don't remember the good name, and they remember the last name when I remember the first, and the contrary. How you want to impress him so much? All at this point, they're all going for you. Oh! To use the jetpack. Fumikage! Wait. Yeah! Sorry. Oh, it's not a part of you. It's like you're naming it. Okay. D'accord. Don't be jealous, come on. And you're too focused on attacking him, you're not paying attention enough on the other ones. He has all of them right there? Inside of him. 2! I'm sorry for you, baby. But he's far from his team. He's letting his team, you know, all by themselves. It's risky for his team. But you can do it. You're impressed? What? A lot of zero. You don't need to be the best, you need to be good enough to pass the next step. For being saved. You're gonna make him so mad. Not kill them. Win against them. Good for you. Todoroki team? Okay, that's gonna be a big 1-to-1, you know? I mean, one team against one team. Come on, Deku. I'm sorry, I'm thinking and I'm forgetting that I'm making reaction videos. I need to say what I'm thinking of right now. I was thinking like Todoroki right there to fight against him, against his team made with Iida, with a friend, you know, of Ochaco, And Deku, I mean, they are all friends, but they are really best friends, these three. So that's gonna be interesting to fight against Iida for sure, but also against Todoroki with the best, you know, right now with his power, with his way of thinking. Katsuki is also really great, but he's not that clever, you know, with strategies, you know, with plans during battles and all. He's just going for it. When Todoroki, he has an amazing power, but also is clever enough to think how to use it and stuff like that. So that's gonna be a big, good battle. Todoroki, we saw it, he wants also to impress his father, to prove himself to his father. He has a real difficult relationship with his father, I think. We saw that a little right there. It was just looks, but what he said before and all, like... That's gonna be also interesting for him, Todoroki, to fight right there. Winning or failing, you know. I think that at the end he's gonna fail. But no matter what, it's gonna be interesting to follow his attitude and if we learn more about him during that fight. And we're really gonna fight against that team more because the other teams are already fighting against each other. We saw that Katsuki is gonna fight really against this guy who managed to steal that much from the other ones. It was clever, you know, like they took the first step as an opportunity to learn more about everyone's powers, and they just knew that they had to succeed, you know, to get to the next step, but to win it, it was not that important. It was just a question of going to the next step, seeing everyone's power, so for the next steps they could use it, this information, and right there to not go after the first one, you know, because this first one has the majority of points, but really just to go after everyone else who would be so focused on the first one that they wouldn't care about you, they wouldn't pay attention enough. That was clever. But right there, to talk like that to Katsuki, he's gonna regret it, that guy, so much. He doesn't know it yet, but really. And Katsuki, excessive guy, what did he say? I'm gonna kill you. No, let's kill them. Like, no, you're not there to kill people, Katsuki. You're there to win against them, but not to kill them. Oh, it's the same, you know, than when he's fighting and he's saying, die, die, die. No, you don't want people to die. You want to win, okay? But you don't want them to die. They are not your enemies. They are your opponents. And that's something different, and that's something that they put a little during the last episode, but mostly during this one. The fact that having a good opponent, it's great because it's pushing you to be better, it's pushing you to show your best, you know, to push your own limits, and it's so cool. So that's why right there, Iida, I'm not mad at him, okay, because I love him a lot, but no matter what, I'm not mad at him for choosing another team. It's because he understood that by staying with Deku, it's not pushing his limits, it's following Deku and making this team win, but he's not showing what he can do, and it knows that Deku is that good, that fighting against Deku would force him to be better. Do you understand what I mean? So really, I'm totally okay with what he did, I totally understand it, I find it logical also. For sure, I love that Ochaco, she joined Deku, and it's just proving again how sweet she is. But at the same time, I wouldn't have been surprised or shocked if she would have done the same. Right there, she stayed, and she's a little jealous, no? Of the new girl, the girl who came to help with all of her babies. And that's great to have someone like that into their team right now, because they needed all of these tools and all, like for sure against the strengths or the powers of Katsuki or Todoroki. They can't do a lot when really with these things right there they could fly or stuff like that. So that was a good call. And after that, to take Fumikage, it's also really cool because I'm gonna learn more about his power. Like, I understood that he was not only a crow, but that we had something with a shadow creature and stuff like that. But for me it was a part of him when right there he talked to this shadow creature and gave him orders. So it's a part of him, but someone else, like to who you can give orders. Like if it's a part of him, he doesn't need to give orders, and you know, just with his mind he's making stuff, you know, it's a part of him, like an arm, like a leg. Right there it's really another creature that you can control, which is getting out of you, but still. Do you understand my logic right there? So I want to know more about his power. And the fact that Deku chose him, for sure it's interesting to have someone like that into your team, because in fact it means that you're not 4, you're 5 to fight. For sure I can understand why, because we saw during the attack and even before that Fumikage is really great. So that's a good person to have with you. And it's someone with a power which is related, you know, to strength, to really fight like that. When for Ochaco it's not really to fight like that, you know, it's more to use things to fight or to escape, to run away, to hide, stuff like that. So I can understand why, but maybe there is another reason behind that, because he really chose him and he convinced also Fumikage to join him. So it means that Fumikage trusts you enough when the other ones, they didn't want to join you because they didn't want to be a target and stuff like that. So I think that maybe there is another reason behind that. For now, he didn't use his power yet, Deku, but it's gonna come. At some point it's gonna come. And again, when it's gonna come, I'm afraid for certain villains to connect the good dots and to understand what is happening. We'll see. All Might is watching that. Aizawa is watching that and is really paying attention about what is happening. The fact that he still has, you know, all of his bandages right there. He was sleeping, like the guy needs to rest. I think that he should be still at the hospital or something like that, but you know how he is. And over, you know, Todoroki dead. And over, okay, it's a fire power, so it can explain half of Todoroki's power. Do you have a mother who can control ice? You know, for what we understood of quirks, how it's functioning, that it's passing through DNA and all, when they tried to explain why Deku didn't have any quirks at the beginning. So maybe that's why your mom can control ice. Did we see someone like that? No, we didn't. What happened to your mom, Todoroki? I want to know that now. Okay, that was a cool episode. It's all for you and for me for today. That was a cool session I've been watching, you know, 4 episodes like that. Remember that if you're watching this on YouTube, on Patreon, they already have the 4 next episode. That me, I didn't watch yet, because clearly I'm gonna stop my session of binge watching right there. But you can have that, disadvantages, on my Patreon if you want. If you can join me, if you want to help me, to support me, all of that. No matter what, it's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine?
Crazy.